Hello viewers. Welcome to the world of vehicles, where today we'll be talking about the Sikorsky X2. Sikorsky Aircraft created the experimental Sikorsky X2 high-speed composite coaxial rotor helicopter, which had its first flight in 2008 and was formally retired in 2011. Development and design. Sikorsky developed the X2 helicopter with a $50 million budget. The design makes use of knowledge gleaned from several earlier design efforts. The RAH-66 Comanche developed expertise in composite rotors and advanced transmission design. At the same time, the S-69XH-59A advancing blade concept demonstrator demonstrated that high speed was possible with a coaxial helicopter with auxiliary propulsion supplied by twin-jet engines, but that vibration and fuel consumption was excessive. Other characteristics include using the thruster rather than the rotor for the majority of power in forward flight, retarded spinning, inflexible rotors spaced 2 feet apart, and active force anti-vibration inspired by the Black Hawk. It's unusual for helicopters because rapid speed requires more power than hovering. The pilot uses a thumb wheel on the collective to control the propeller's independent authority. To enhance the test process, test flights and flight simulators were merged. Honeywell, Eagle Aviation Technologies rotor, Moog Incorporated's anti-vibration technology, and Aero Composites propellers all contribute to the fly-by-wire system. The drag of a rotor hub may be 10 to 20 times that of a blade. Sikorsky planned to test hub fairings to cut down on pain by 40% but not the center hub fairing, also known as the aerosail, between the hubs. Since then, Sikorsky has obtained a patent for a standpipe, a stationary tube placed in the middle of the rotor's axis of rotation and ideal for a central hub fairing. Sikorsky revealed a mock-up of a light tactical helicopter based on the X2 on May 4, 2009, and a prototype was unveiled in October 2014. Based on the X2 philosophy, Sikorsky and Boeing submitted the SB-1 Defiant helicopter design for the Future Vertical Lift program in June 2014. The Army gave its approval in October. The National Aeronautic Association awarded the 2010 Robert J. Collier Trophy to Sikorsky Aircraft Corporation and the X2 Technology Demonstrator Team for demonstrating a revolutionary 250-knot helicopter that is proven to be a starting point for future helicopter development by significantly increasing their speed, maneuverability, and utility. The X2 team won the Howard Hughes Prize in 2011. American Helicopter Society. Operating background. In Horseheads, New York, at Schweitzer Aircraft, a part of Sikorsky Aircraft Corporation, the X2 made its maiden flight on August 27, 2008. The trip took 30 minutes. A 4-phase flight test program that reached the intended top speed of 250 knots was launched. In July 2009, the X2 completed flights with a fully engaged propeller. The X2, which Sikorsky finished testing with, had a top speed of 181 knots in a test flight in late May 2010, unofficially breaking the current FAI rotorcraft world speed record of 216 knots, 249 miles per hour, 400 kilometers per hour, set by a modified Westland Lynx in 1986. Sikorsky reported in July 2010 that the X2 had attained 225 knots, 259 miles per hour, 417 kilometers per hour, during flight tests in West Palm Beach, Florida. On September 15, 2010, test pilot Kevin Breedenbeck broke the unofficial helicopter speed record when flying the X2 at 250 knots, 290 miles per hour, 460 kilometers per hour, exceeding Sikorsky's design objective for the aircraft. Then, in a shallow 2-to-3 draft, the demonstrator set a new record speed of 260 knots, 300 miles per hour, 480 kilometers per hour, slightly faster than the 303 miles per hour speed attained by the Sikorsky S-69 technology demonstrator helicopter. According to Sikorsky, the X2 makes as much noise at 200 knots as a typical helicopter does at 100 knots. To keep the tip speed below Mach 0.9 above 200 knots, the rotor speed is decreased from 446 to 360 rpm. The rotor blade is slightly elevated, and the lift-to-drag ratio is about double that of a typical helicopter. During flight tests, hands-free flying was also accomplished. After accruing 22 hours over 23 test flights, the X2 completed its final flight on July 14, 2011, and was subsequently retired. The high-speed reconnaissance and assault helicopter S-97 Raider, the X2's first application, will be released after development. It is displayed at the Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center in Chantilly, Virginia, after being presented to the National Air and Space Museum in October 2016.